What's going on, guys? What's going on? What's going on? Give me a minute here. Okay. Just give me 2 seconds. Make sure everyone could hear me. Hope everyone had a nice trading day. Make sure everyone could hear me. Check in real quick with the tech. Okay. Awesome. Okay, you guys could hear me. Excellent. Cool. Awesome, guys. So, pretty crazy day trading. To be honest with you, it was kind of chaotic a little bit. I'm gonna quickly share my screen here. Hopefully everyone can see. Honestly, I'm totally mentally drained from today. It was pretty crazy and hectic, honestly. But I wanted to go over this trade, PMCB, because there was a lot of fake outs. There was a lot of manipulation for sure on this name, but it traded like, what, $2 billion worth today? I mean, guys, that's some serious liquidity. What do we have? What did we close with? 200 million plus shares? Maybe 3. I don't even know. I'd have to go check. But when you see this kind of liquidity on a micro floater, and hundreds of millions of dollars are being bought between a certain particular range, it's good to bet that, if you can get in lower than where the hundreds of millions of dollars are being bought, you have a great opportunity to potentially make some serious money in the afternoon, which we saw today. This morning, I alerted this at 520, 530 zones. Here we are in the 860. So, people are still buying up here. I mean, we alerted this in the 5s, guys. It ran to 11. That's 100% call. That's 2 back-to-back days of 100% plus calls. If you're missing these opportunities, I really don't know what to do. I'm kind of scratching my head right now. I don't feel for you necessarily because there's so much opportunity here. I gave a couple different buy alerts today, and each buy alert ranged from 15%, 28 to 30%, and then 100%. So there was lots of opportunities to buy this name and reap profits. Definitely study some more because, this name, I had a feeling right when I alerted. I woke up at 7:30 this morning and I said this could be a big sympathy to VRPX. And we saw that today, guys, 189% move. So I kind of want to walk through this trade, right? So first off, VRPX went, 200-300% yesterday. Typically when stocks start to moon and then another 100% in pre-market today, right? Typically when stocks start to moon like that, you get a second or third, what we call sympathy play, right? And so this stock hit 100% pre-market, and I waited super patiently for a washout dip, and I want to show you where I got in and sort of where my targets were. So we saw 7 in the morning. This started to kind of rip, guys, all the way up in here, right? Now it started to die out. I thought short at 650 up in here on this wick. I tried to short there, no shares available. I knew it was going to kind of slam the 550s. Let me quickly show you. This is the 5-minute chart. This is what I use for all my trades. 5 minutes for, I bet, 80% of my trades intraday. Because 5 minute gives you a good glimpse of how much volume, price action, everything that's happening in a 5-minute time frame. Then you can see the last couple 5-minute time frame. I also look at the 15-minute. If you're going to look at 15-minute, you can see some larger sort of candle moves. You can really see where the price action is on the 15-minute chart. Where the big blocks came in. That's good when you're trying to find bottoms, I think, or maybe midday wash. But I love to stick to the 5. It's a little bit more consistent for me. That's what I've done over the years, and that's sort of how I've traded. I love the 5-minute mark. So, I want to run through this trade because the first initial buy alert, guys, I gave this thing was at 520 to 5, I think maybe 40 zones at the highest. 30, I think, was the real alert. And so where it happened was we saw some big block buying in here, lighter, pretty good volume actually, around 750 in the morning, almost a million shares probably in here. And then I wanted a washout dip, and I got my washout dip right here down the 518. I had a 528 average with about, I think, 30,000 shares in here. I started to accumulate right on these candles. I sold one of the rips in here to 550. Honestly, guys, I sold majority of it to 550 because VRPX was crashing in pre-market. I didn't know where it was going to go. And I didn't know if this would have the legs today. But boy, was I wrong, because on that print alone, I probably left a good $150,000 to $200,000 print here. It is what it is. That was one opportunity where I left a big opportunity. And then I really started to size in later. I'm going to show you guys where I bought ridiculous size. So I saw that was pre-market scalp. I don't know, maybe 3 or 4K, not much. I didn't really know which direction we were going to go. And then all of a sudden, guys, at 9:30, this thing just freaking moons. And that's when I saw this, the candle, 28 million shares, 7 million. And I see it halt to 7.8. So I'm like, oh boy, this is the runner. And I had this thing at 520s. I alerted the buy here. I know a lot of people added in here 5:30 pre-market. A lot of people made big bucks flying into here, into the 8s. That's a quick 40-50% turnaround, guys. And that's a fast one, 60% on here, right? So you can see a lot of people sold the 60% rip. Obviously, right, there's people had some size in here. It's a quick profit take. But then we started to see more crazy volume. 3 million, 4 million, 5 million, 8 million shares spike up in here to the 984. And then we started to see some dumping throughout the day. And this is where, guys, I was like, these kill candles, I couldn't get over them because they were like 10% kill candles. But then I kind of scratched my head and I said, okay, wait, this is a 1 mil floater. It's going to be violent, and 5 to 10% moves is expected because there's a lot of range on the upside, which means there's a lot of range on the downside as well, right? So the moves were going to be violent. I think a lot of day traders today on this name were like very scared and skeptical of buying when it's 100%, buying when it's 150. But I had no problem because there was hundreds of millions of dollars being traded. And with that kind of liquidity and that kind of consolidation all day long, I felt that there was going to be a bigger move in the afternoon. I said, hey guys, let's look in the 7s. Let's then get an entry, low 7s wash. Let's look for 9 to 10s. We didn't get the 10s, almost got the 10 by 10 cents later in the afternoon, right before close. I don't know if it hit 10. I think I was off my price target by about 10, maybe 11 cents. But damn, that was pretty damn close for 25% move into close. And it did exactly what I thought it would do on VRP, exactly what VRPX did the day before. So we saw a kill candle here off of 894. Then we saw another kill candle. I'm like, ooh, like where is this going today? Then it started slowly build. And guys, I'm not going to lie. I took a nice size position. Where was that? In here. So I took like 736 in here. I saw a pop, drop. And that's the third time. Then there was more support around 735, right? So there's a lot of shares being bought between 735 and then 980, right? Tons of shares, millions, probably 20, 30, 40, 50 million shares, right? So what I thought was, okay, maybe if I can get one more dip right down to the 7s. So I add in here, I said I might not get it. So I add about 50,000 shares at 739 average, right? Got super excited. 20 minutes later, we pop all the way up, right? Maybe 30, 40 minutes later, we pop all the way up on this wick. 820, and I'm like, 827, excuse me. And I'm like, oh baby, this could then maybe fly back up to the 9s on maybe another consolidation, then a 9 breakout, which it did it later here. But I thought it was going to consolidate here and break out. And guess what happened? We saw a 5 million flush. Someone flushed. And let me tell you, I think I was up 25 to 30 grand in this spot here, and immediately was down 7 grand. I took a loss, blew through my stop loss rate, and that was right below my entry. And I didn't think to move it because this was it says 6%, but that was really, I think, a 15% raid. And boy, what a stop loss raid that was. And then what happened was, given that I knew all the shares, right, were being sort of bought above this area in here, which is most of the majority of the volume for the day, I wanted one flush washout, and I actually got it on this next candle about 5, 10, 15 minutes later. So I lost 7 grand my first scalp. My second scalp. My third scalp, this is where I went ridiculous size. This thing dropped to 682. I bought above ask at $7 a share. It filled me. I filled 100,000 shares. I can show the order later. Right at 7 on the T, because I felt that so many shares were bought above that this is going to bounce back to 730, 750 later in the day. But if you're a day trader, you see this kale candle and you're going, whoa, stay away. I took the opposite approach. On a 1 mil floater, I said, you know what? That's a washout when you see it. 5 million shares in 5 minutes. I'm gonna take a risk. I took the risk here, 100,000 shares, and then 10 minutes later, guys, boom. I mean, right in here, I think this went all the way to 727. So actually, like 5 minutes later, this went to almost 731, 727. I sold 50,000 right away because I was up a quick 20, 25 grand here already, right? So I sold 50,000 shares. I held my 50. And then I waited for this lick, and I sold the rest right around 8. I sold the rest of the 50,000 around 8. And then this thing really started to explode, guys. And I totally missed this in here. But guess what? I'm not being greedy because this double top, triple top, quadruple top right in here before the kill candle was around 8. So that was a good end. I targeted 8. I said target 8. And so we hit that target. That was a 10% move. I wasn't going to be greedy. And then I saw another candle come in here, drop down to 733 again. I was very nervous. But then out of nowhere, again, before 4 p.m., we see crazy volume fly in. I mean, crazy volume. 3 million, 4 million, 2 million, 4 million, 4 million. I mean, this might not be done. Like, what are we down? 12% in after hours? Like, this might get another pop tomorrow. Maybe we'll dip and rip tomorrow at the bell. I don't know. I'm gonna watch this because there's so much money being traded, so much liquidity on these names. And so I missed this whole thing. I actually didn't even scalp at all. I sold everything in here. But I mean, if you guys do the math, I loaded 100,000 shares at $7 a share flat. Even if I sold half around 9. Kept the other half to 10. I mean, I could have, but I didn't trust with these kill candles because I didn't want to get dumped on. So I was playing safe, but the volume tells the story. The volume always tells the story. I could have got out 50, 100, 200,000 shares, 500,000 shares easily in here. I mean, there's so much freaking volume and liquidity that 100,000 shares was being soaked up like it was a $100 buy, a 100 share buy. So, I wasn't worried about the size I took down here. I was having a red about 40K day until I made this trade in here. That helped me go green today. I had finished green $38,000 today. VRPX, UPST, I got squeezed out on puts and shorts. Probably took about a 20, 25K loss there. Took about 20K loss on VRPX. So there's my 40. And then really I made about 80,000 on this name, maybe a little less, 78, around there, round about. So there was tons of opportunities, guys, right? There was a 520 buy I gave down in here, right? And then we gapped up all the way to 9 within an hour, hour and a half. And then I gave another buy opportunity here, the washout of 7. Guys, on these types of big volatile names, you don't. So for me, I want to be buying the dips. I don't want to be buying the tops, right? You don't want to be buying here. I want to be buying the washouts. I love a good washout. There's nothing better than buying a good washout, consolidation, and then rip, right? But there also are kill candles, as I mentioned. A kill candle is not the best look. For day traders, it seems like things are shot. You'd like to see it. You'd rather see consolidation all day with a rip, higher lows, higher highs. Just simple stress-free setup. But unfortunately, this is trading. There's not a stress-free setup all the time. So you have to take what the trading gods give you here. So, there was support here. There was support here. So that was why I said, okay, double bottom here. And then boom. And then we saw a higher low here on this candle up. And then we saw new highs. It was a fairly simple trade. Could I execute better on this trade? Probably. As I mentioned, I probably left a lot of money on the table. But in these markets, I'm not being greedy, guys. Maybe when September, October, November, December, H2 rolls around, and there's some really big multi-day gappers with this kind of volume, I'll play a little bit with the same size and I'll let it ride a little bit longer. Maybe get some bigger green days. But right now, I want to be locking my 10 to 15% moves. That's what I'm alerting. That's the conservative price targets I'm giving. If it runs 20%, if it runs 100%, we've had 2 days in a row now, I've called 100% plus gainer. I don't know what to tell you if you're missing these. It's pretty simple. A lot of action, a ton of liquidity. Follow the price action. If hundreds of millions of dollars are being bought above a certain interval or certain period of time, then look for maybe a dip below those prices, or maybe even with those prices with a tight stop. So play to your comfort zones. That's how I'm playing this month. I hope these lessons are helping. You want to be selling shares into strength, right? You don't want to be buying shares in here unless you're quickly trying to scalp 2, 3, 4, 5%. Trying to do quick percentage moves, maybe. Small size, big size, in and outs, and within seconds or minutes. But ultimately, you want to be selling your shares into strength. I love to sell shares when the volume's at its peak, when there's a ton of FOMO buyers, when there's a ton of liquidity. That's when you want to be selling, right? Remember the whole GameStop, AMC stuff? When those are, short squeezing Clove, when those have those crazy 50, 80, 100% short squeezes, that's where you want to be selling. When literally there's so many buyers you can't even find a seller. That is my ideal area to exit a stock. Is when FOMO is at its highest, when there's a ton of liquidity. That's not when you want to be buying. The smart people are selling because that is when they're cashing in. So hopefully these lessons are helping you guys. I hope that everyone's learning by the day. This was a great play today. We had a nice fiver in here, a new rip higher, dip, 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 rip, dip, 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 rip, new highs. So that's been the constant trend, guys. Follow the charts. You'll see this chart. You'll see VRPX chart. You'll see FLGC chart. You'll see another chart I found today was RSLS. It looks almost identical to this chart. I'm going to be watching that name heavily tomorrow, maybe for another breakout to the upside, to the fours are possible. I saw from the chart. So, there's a ton of opportunity here in these markets, guys. Even though the markets are slow, find and pick your spots. Find those 5%. Find that 10%. It's not that hard to do. I'm having trouble with it sometimes because sometimes there's not a lot of A++ setups right now, right? So trade with your gut, trade with your comfort level, and let's continue to crush it. I'm super excited for the back half of this year. I think we're going to blow it out of the water. So let's keep it going. Let's keep the momentum going, keep the positivity going. If you have any questions at all, shoot me a DM here at SpudZone Official. If you are new to subscribing to me, we have 17,000 followers, 17,000 members, in SpudZone Official Discord. Definitely check us out. See the link in the bio or message a tech person right now in the comments section. They'll get you squared away in the Discord. Or just subscribe here today, as well as you could follow me on Webull, 53,000 followers there, and StockTwits. It's a recently new account, about 21,000 followers there. You can follow me there, folks. And for anything real time, I'm posting everything in Discord, what I'm seeing, how I'm seeing, what the markets are doing, large cap, small cap, options, indexes. That's the place to be, 24/7 market time. So hopefully see some new faces in there. If not, hit the subscribe here for more great content. I highly recommend you go and study some of these sessions behind us that I've put out the last couple of weeks and months. You'll see a ton of similarities in a lot of these breakout patterns. So hoping my end goal is here to teach as many of you as I possibly can and to learn from you guys to learn from me. And really just the knowledge is everything. So hopefully these are helpful. Please leave some feedback in the Discord channel or in the comments section. I'll try to get to it. Thanks a lot, guys. Take care. Have a wonderful night. And I will see all of you folks tomorrow.